Welcome back, everyone. Here we are for another match, and this one is an absolute firecracker. I'm going to leave the best move arrow on, which normally I have this thing disabled, and I'm going to leave the computer rating on as well, just because we're going to see it go up and down and up and down, and this arrow is going to be all over the place. Well, maybe not now that the game is loaded, but going through the initial moves, it was bouncing all over the place. And this game is just tremendous amounts of fun. It almost feels like a blitz game, the way that we're just like both trying to suicide into victory as fast as we can. And it was a tremendous amount of fun. It was crazy. So I start off with King Pawn and follows it up. It's just fried liver beginning. And this time I opted to go with the horse, which I don't believe it's as good now. I think the bishop is probably better, but I don't think the bishop is exactly that great to use either. You're really better off just not even playing it, honestly. Usually in this position, people will move the queen up, and then you take, and then you take the rook, and then they'll try and throw down and take the f pawn, hoping that they can bait you into some sort of traps or something like that, and get you into some checks and do some really bad stuff. This guy opts to go bishop first and then queen, so it works the same way. It just looks a little bit sharper and more offensive. It's like, oh yeah, attacking my queen? I don't care. It's like, oh, holy crap. Excuse me. So, I know that taking it is bad. We've seen that in several of the last videos. If you take this, you're generally going to lose. And it's always tough to see where and how that all comes from. But I know that it's not wise, so I'm gonna leave it there. I'm not gonna take it. He now moves his queen out. I take the rook, no big deal. And instead of running his bishop away, he's gonna try and leave the bait there for a little bit. So you see, huge lead, move the bishop. Nope, he just continues to play sharp, thrusting pieces into me. Do whatever the heck you want. I got a couple different options I could take it with. I decided, it says take it with the pawn, huge lead, nah, I'll take it with the bishop. All of a sudden now I've like lost the game in one turn by getting a centralized freaking position, like God, heaven forbid, right? So he just needs to throw his bishop down into my face, but he doesn't, he does something else. All of a sudden now he went from winning the game to losing the game. And it's just like, what is happening? What is going on with this? None of us are making any sort of good moves. All kinds of havoc going on. Oops, wrong direction. And then it's like, okay, just take this horse, get check, open things up a little bit, no big deal, you'll be fine, right? Nah, okay, just these last few turns are, oops, wrong way. These last few turns are just hilarious to me. So, mediocre game to, okay, now you're winning, and okay, now you're really winning, and all of a sudden you're losing. And all of a sudden you're winning, and all of a sudden you're losing, and how far did we get? I don't know, but it's just like back and forth and back and forth. I should have done this and I didn't. Instead I opted to throw my pawn up in his face and force his bishop to get out of there because I don't like it where it is, and apparently that move just ends the game. I moved that up there, and it's saying, hey, if he brings his bishop down here, then you're going to lose. Oh, okay. And that's what he does. I'm forced to go back. The game says I should go here. I decide, nah, I'm going to go up a square, start to try and maybe defend some of these pawns a little bit. I'm not quite exactly sure. I didn't want to block in my bottom line pieces as well. And the game now says, oh, you should capitalize by using your knight and forcing check on the king that decided to walk up instead of do something else. Nah, he won't. And all of a sudden now, after this dominating position, now all of a sudden he's going to lose the game because he used his queen to get check. Like, God. How terrible is that, right? Crazy. Just crazy, crazy, crazy. So, and then instead, of making the smart play, and finally now that he made a blunder and I went back into the lead, using my pawn to block off check and attack the queen and all sorts of good stuff, I decide, nope, now I'm going to run back here and, haven't wasted that time. And now I'm losing the game again. So, it's just up and down, trading punches, Mike Tyson style. And one of us should probably be knocked out at this point. So, it yet again says that, alright, now he's won the game, it's over, he just needs to play a little bit of smart position, move over here, attack the queen, and there's not going to be a whole lot I can really do about it. In fact, there wouldn't be anything I could do about it except just lose the freaking queen. But, hold on, is that, I keep pushing the wrong button. There we go. But he doesn't see it, and so now all of a sudden I'm winning the game again. Oh, okay, thanks. So he couldn't resist the breaking the central whatever in the middle, and wanted to take that bishop as opposed to taking the queen. So that's fine. Both of us just really suck at this game. And now it's saying, hey, you almost just lost your queen. You should probably do something to save your queen. You get check, and you get a bishop. Looks really good. Nope, I'm going to take this horse. Like, what were we doing? I don't understand. Like, hey, alright, so you almost lost the game 3 times now, and your queen, but now you're winning again. So just go over here with check, take the bishop, you'll be okay, kid. Nope, take the horse, and now I'm going to lose the game again. It's like, Jesus freaking Christ. It's just mind-bogglingly insane. Oh, man, now I'm really losing all the way down there. So he just needs to recapture with this pawn. He has total control over an extremely exposed board. I have nothing developed, but he doesn't. He castles, and oh look, now he's losing the game after he was just down here in 90% win percentage. Now he's losing because he castled, which gives him offense on a piece, offense on an open lane. I guess it gives up a horse, but whatever. So I capture the horse, and now all is well with the world, right? He just needs to take this pawn, and then we can start playing some regular chess from there, right? Nope, he moves down his bishop so that he can attack a rook that has nowhere to go. This rook is dead no matter what square he goes to. And now he's losing the game even more. Like, this seems like it would be good, but it's not, apparently. So, I know this pawn is going to be dead in a matter of turns. I decide to take a pawn while I can, screw up his queenside position, and get check all at the same time. It's mostly just a distraction for a turn or two. So he goes over there as he has to, and now the game is saying, you know what, this rook down here, just ignore it. You should go after this queen instead to get it out of position. I mean, I guess if I attack after it, he's not going to take the rook because I take the queen, and thus by him taking it with said queen, I can then move my rook down here and save it. I mean, that's what it's thinking. It's thinking, give up a pawn to save your rook, and you'll be okay, dude. You'll be okay. Nah, I'm going to move the rook. And that's just going to allow him to make the trade, and there's not a whole lot I can do about it. Hey, you should probably do something about this queen that he's got, you know, kind of staring in your grill with multiple pieces angled down at you, right? I'm gonna take this bishop. Well, okay, after all of these shenanigans, we're back to even. I've got the material, it's just sitting in the garage, and I need to get it out. It's all kinds of open space. I've got a potential pawn that if he never does anything with this pawn, ever, that pawn can win the game. So there's just lots of things going on. And he decides to not just take the knight, but he decides to put me in check first. Which, okay, that seems fine. A little bit of the pressure is relieved now that some pieces are gone. I'm just going to kind of move up a little bit, try and get stuck in this nice little cubby hole. It's a dark squared bishop, so if I can stay on these light squares, I'll be alright. He would be able to bring in some of his pieces now at this point, forcing me to run away and use my queen as defense, and we could be in a little bit of trouble, but there's no checkmate incoming. So even game, he's got lots of attacks, lots of pressure, I have absolutely no pieces moving, and he puts me in check, and somehow putting me in check, attacking a piece that could potentially win the game in one turn if he doesn't respond to it, at the same time, with a fork, takes it from even to 90% chance you're going to lose the game. Like, I don't understand. It blows my mind, this game. This game just doesn't make any sense. So, I run away, where apparently I'm supposed to, and now I have a commanding lead all of a sudden, despite the fact that nothing over here has changed. And he's supposed to run his bishop away because it's going to die if he does not. And hey, we made a correct move for once. So, now it's like, okay, X. You've survived like 4 near-death experiences. Just move your freaking horse out, develop your pieces, attack your queen. Right? Piece of cake? That's all you have to do? Here's the problem. I like this pawn. And I feel that if I have a chance to save this pawn can win the game. So I decide to do something else because I'm stupid. I decide to move my queen out here. And all of a sudden there goes my 90% chance to win. Again, for like the 4th time. I thought that putting in a target on this square would be good. Gives me a chance to save this knight and bring him back into play. Once it's taken, gives me a little bit of defense in these squares by having my queen here since it's so much open space. but apparently it's end of the game. I didn't want to bring out the horse because I knew that if I did, he would immediately just take that pawn, and I didn't want that. I'm aware he knows the pawn is there, but since he hasn't taken it yet, I'm hoping that maybe he forgets about it long enough that I can do something to save it where it'll be like a couple moves in a combo and he won't have time to do anything about it once it gets there. So that's kind of what I'm hoping. But, you know, I'd rather go from a +5.5 to a -2 point. Here, have 7 points in one move. And I don't even think it's necessarily a bad move. If this rook, let's just say he wants to defend the pawn by moving the rook here, then I have checkmate. I mean, I give myself a possible mate in one, attacking a nice piece, which can save a piece. I just, oh my god, chess, why? Why are you like this? So he's supposed to move his queen all the way down here and just really put a hamper in my style. I would be losing the bishop at that point, in addition to him covering up some of my king's flight squares, all kinds of problems, but he doesn't do it. So I went from a +5.5 to a -2.5, and now I'm +5 again. What are we doing? Why are we so bad at this game? So he wanted to save this pawn, and so he just decided to push it, and now it's defended by the bishop. So he successfully saved it. Aha! I say. But I can develop a piece and attack it. You know what? No, you can still just attack the queen as you're supposed to, and then he can't take your pieces for free. Just attack the queen. No, I won't. I'm not going to attack the queen. I'm going to develop this piece, so that way I get even more pressure up here, and maybe I can start accomplishing something with it. If we trade some pieces over there, you know, no big deal, whatever. At least now if he goes here, I can bring my bishop out, and then my rook is defending my knight, so that's not as bad. The game still thinks I'm doing okay. He finally now realizes that if he waits too much longer, he might not get another chance to take that knight. It takes his rook out of position for now, which is good. It gives me a turn to breathe. It gives me a little bit of reprieve, and now I need to find a way to finish things off. So again, it says, hey, attack his queen, ignore this freaking pawn, and you'll be alright. The dude's got 3 pieces, you have 4, you also have 1, 2, 3, what, more pawns? Yeah, I also have more pawns. It's like, you'll be okay, just don't be stupid, just don't suck at chess and you'll win, right? Nah, I'm gonna take this pawn and attack his bishop. I mean, I guess the thought of trading pieces when you're up, that's fine, that's good, that's what you're supposed to do. Thinking he would just immediately take it, and I don't know if I realized that him pushing this guy would be pretty deadly, because now he's attacking this. At the same time, it is blocking off this file of offense. Granted, when he pushes one more time, it'll be a little annoying. When he pushes one more time, I might even just push my pawn itself and give myself a little bit of a shield here. Anyway, where were we? So I'm still trying to keep this square. So if there's anything I can do to try and keep this threat alive, and then maybe just move my bishop somewhere, like, hey, take my free bishop. I don't know, something. But I'm still okay. I'm still okay. I'm still okay. We're living. We're breathing. It's not over yet. He's attacking my queen one more time. You know what? Maybe I should just offer a queen trade. If I offer a queen trade, sure, he can take the pawn, I can take his queen, he can take the queen, but then he has to beat me with 1 major piece and an off-color bishop against, well, essentially an extra horse and some pawns. Like, that would be alright. I'd be able to survive. I'd make it happen. But I decide, nope. I don't even know what this does. What does this do? This goes after that pawn, I guess, and prevents him from getting some attacks in this area. It doesn't keep my offensive check over here, because then he just takes the pawn. The whole point of going here was that it defends the pawn. So I don't know. It's not ideal, that's for sure. I guess it does give me 1 move to attack all of it. No, because he's guarded. What am I supposed to do about this? I guess I'm really just trying to take that pawn. But really, I should have went there, and I didn't. So that's fine. The game says he should move his queen up here, get some check, and force me down a little bit, try and bounce around and recover some of that position, recover some of that defense a little bit. But he decides not to. He decides to throw his rook all the way down here, going after some of these more vulnerable pawns, also threatening to bring his queen over here, which would put me in check. It would not put me in checkmate. My king would have 1 square to go to. So as long as I have 1 square to go to, I'll be alright. So But now that he's moved down there, I'm thinking... Actually, no, I wouldn't. Oh, yeah, I would have that one square. I can even take... He even left me a free piece. A free piece! After all of this crap, he barely has any pieces left to win the freaking game with. So I should just take a piece, right? Okay, at least I took that. So now we're okay. I guess it's not really free, because he's going to return it right back with check. But it's not check as bad as if his queen was down here. So we live in, we okay, boys, we in there. I debated if I should go dark square, and then when he takes it, I can just move up. And then I just have a little bit better defensive position. Then he would still just return... No, because yeah, he'd return fire by taking here. So if that happened... yeah, I'd have to go down here. So I'd end up being here. It's kind of ugly. So that's fine. I block the check with the queen, as opposed to moving the king. Could I have done anything else? No, I couldn't have done anything else. So I block it with the pawn. We complete the trade of bishops. No, we don't. We don't complete the trade of bishops, because why would this game do anything that makes sense? He's going to take a piece with check. God, this is terrifying, isn't it? Oh, because my queen is on there. So he's going to take a piece with check, and suddenly he's going to lose the game because of it. So you would think that at some point one of us learns our lesson and we're going to be okay. I mean, I could even possibly take... What if I freaking took this pawn with the queen and he was like, I don't want to trade queens, I want to take this bishop. Game over. And that's a very logical thought process too. You know, this queen, if he trades queens, he's going to have essentially no way to win the game. He's going to have a rook. And I have too much other stuff, so he can't. Mathematically, yes, he could, but he can't. You know, so he wouldn't want to trade queens. I should probably just freaking take this stupid thing. Trade queens. Be fine. But I don't. I decide to stop the forward momentum of this pawn and attack his rook. So if he wants to take this bishop, I take his rook. Okay, that's fine too, but oh my god, use the damn queen. I didn't, so here we are again, in a 90 freaking % win percentage yet again, and it's even better. It's even better. He's getting it to be more and more difficult for him to put checks on me and harm me and do bad things to me, so we doing okay. He finally takes the bishop. This allows me a chance to take the pawn, and now I'm attacking an undefended rook. I'm in a good position. I've got everything covered. My chance to win is through the roof. I have a potential one-turn mate if he doesn't do something right. I just need to get these pieces into play, which this horse should have came out like 12 turns ago, and then my rook is good to participate. That's all I need, but I'm still thinking about this pawn and how I could potentially win the game with this pawn. Alright, well, now maybe I get my rook activated, right? The question is just a matter of which square combination do I like better. If I go up here, why can't I think? Okay, so it's really, yeah, it's basically which one of these two squares do you like more. I decide I want to go here and get these 3 squares as opposed to going here and getting these 2 squares. Is really what I'm looking at. Why? I guess here and then here gives me a chance to save the pawn. I don't really know. I'm not afraid of this immediate pin because there's nothing defending it right now. So if he went there, I just take it with check, so I don't really care. So that's why I could afford the turn to move the knight as opposed to moving the king outright. And he's going to take this time. Obviously, he sees this potential pin, so he wants to get some defense on there. So now I take the turn to move my king out to the corner. This says he should double up his pieces. Well, he's still not. He's going to go after this rook, or after this queen. And I could go here, potentially. It'll guard this square and that square, and it'll attack this piece. It'll also force another queen trade, which he may or may not even accept. And if he does, fine, I just take it with the pawn. This looks like a clock, and we're going to be a-okay. So just go here, force queen trade. I don't know what this does. It keeps the chance for a one-turn checkmate alive, which is fine. I guess it attacks the rook, but who really cares about that at that point? So he doubles up the pieces, and I'm thinking, aha! Well, my rook is guarding this square, which would be a one-turn checkmate. But there's also a one-turn checkmate right here. And all I have to do, yet again, is use my queen, defend some of these squares, and I just didn't see it. I just didn't. I used my horse to guard that square with thought of second turn bouncing over here and shutting down the line. Somehow I just missed that square, and he did not. So checkmated I am. This game was hilarious. Like, I'm not even upset because I know that I should have won this game like 7 times. Granted, I should have lost it like 7 times as well, but once we got to this end game position, I knew I was going to win. It was just a hasty move. I messed up. I screwed it up. I blundered and I lost the game because of it. But holy crap, that was a lot of fun. And just what a game. Just what a game. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. And thank you all for watching. Take it easy, everybody. Catch you later. Peace.